Hey, President Biden, is Obamacare still a thing? Is it still a thing?
Yes. Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, Biden Care, whatever you call it, yes, it is still a thing. The other side's been trying to repeal it every year since it's existed, but will keep fighting to protect it.
Not just protect it, but expand it, saving millions of dollars for working families. We're covering more people than ever.
Just go to healthcare.gov to learn more.
Yeah, it's still a BFD.
I just want to make something clear, because I'm Black American. My mom and dad are Black American. Their moms and dads, Black American. Their moms and dads, Black American. Their moms and dads, Black American. So maybe we go back like 400 years, okay? That's what I'm standing on right now, is I'm Black American. And there's not a particular country for me to go back to because I was born and raised here and my family's been here for hundreds of years. So if I move, it better be because I got reparations that allowed me to move. I am from here. My people cultivated the land here, okay? My ancestry might tell you that I have African DNA. But this land right here, okay, I'm owed. So until I get reparations, I don't care if it takes me till I'm 100. Yeah. Reparations or no.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
Living off borrowed time, the clock tick faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. And living the true gods, giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
All right. Welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official show. I am your host, beatzillapdx officially. And this is the weekly wrap-up. And, we have a couple things to talk about, or a few, shall we say. But as you are coming in, please hit that like button, family, if you would. If you are new to this channel, welcome. And if you don't know what we do by now, and you might have caught wind, well, you will see tonight. And I welcome all, new viewers, and for all of my steady writers out here. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you for being here once again on this Friday evening. With that being said, also, if you have not subscribed to this channel, you can also subscribe, and you can also become a member. And hit that notification bell, hit the word all. That way you'll be notified anytime a video is uploaded, premieres, or this, like tonight, we go live. And, hopefully you will get your notifications. YouTube is on it like they are supposed to be. So as more people pile on in, I hope y'all are having a good Friday evening thus far. And we will see who we have in the chat, because we have some things to get to. So we have Patricia Slade in the building. Welcome. Jersey City in the building. Good evening, Jersey City. And we have our sister Judah Queen in the building. Welcome. Always good to see you, my good sister. Black first, as always. Lynette Williams in the house. Black first from Montgomery, Alabama. All right. Shout out to you, Lynette Williams. Thank you for being here. Got my good sister Blueberry Muffin in the house. Enter the Blueberry Muffin. Yes, indeed. Welcome, my good I-5 neighbor. Always good to see you in the house. And we got our good brother, dark-skinned brother in the house. Yes, indeed. Salute to you as always, my good brother. And let's see. We have Reginald Jeter in the house. Yeah, Reginald Jeter in the house. What is going on, my good brother? I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for being here once again. FBA all day, every day. Yes, indeed. Oh, yeah. And there's another one. Yes, indeed. All right. Who else we got here? We got Knight Rider in the building. Knight Rider, salute. Yes, indeed. Shalom. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for hanging out with us on this Friday Eve. So, I guess the first little piece of news that we'll touch on is this funny little story right here. And this is out of where's this woman at? Michelle Wu. She in Boston or something. So because they keep calling her a person of color. She's Chinese, which majority of them, I don't know what she identifies on her paperwork other than white, but whatever. That's neither here nor there for me. But she was going to have an elected of color holiday party. And the way the media was actually portraying it, they were calling it a no whites party, or said no whites, something to that effect. But this is really what it was about. Celebrating, I guess what you say, a minority coalition of sorts. I use that term very loosely. Uh, and they're all up in arms again because now all of these people up in this picture are still probably identifying as white, but nonetheless, well, I guess I don't know why they used this picture, but you know, yeah, they want to have a party that's celebrating what you would call minorities. So they were uh, promoting solidarity amongst the non-white. You know, and it's so funny because you know that of course uh, it basically tells you that you're under a system of white supremacy in so many terms. Because you have to have something that's just exclusively for people of color. So, you know, that it's pretty telling right there now, isn't it? You know, hey, what can you say? Oyela's Cadence in the house. Greetings, everyone. Always good to see you, my good sister. Appreciate you being in the building this evening. We are now officially international. Yes, indeed. Always good to see my folks in the house. And so, yeah, these folks was mad about this Christmas party. It's no whites. Oh, stop. And you know, I'm it's interesting. Like the one thing that's been ringing out all day is the whole clip from that Netflix film that's so called produced by the Obamas. And but I mean that's a cold line. Say, hey, you know, if all goes to hell, be very tight with your trust, and most definitely don't trust white people. I'm paraphrasing. And oh man, these folks is so upset. They are so upset. It's hilarious to see it, man. Oh man, but I mean, again, it makes a point. And Tariq Nasheed did a great video on that, on his breakdown of what is it? Leave the world behind or something like that. And you know, it's just you know they're pointing out something. And again, that is like I said, Tariq's breakdown of that was great because it gives you. Uh, he walked you down to what they were doing throughout the movie. Because if you know when you watch stuff like this, you have to understand you're watching with a perception or with a perceptive eye. You know what I'm saying? Just like for instance, there's things in Get Out that I'm sure all of y'all, all the family understands. We understood in that movie that white people never saw. There were certain subtle things that were done that, you know, there was just so much that was going, especially in the very beginning of that movie, that I was in. I remember being in the theater and seeing so many things going over people's heads, and I'm like, damn, they hit you with like 100 different like black facts that none of y'all knew. I mean, because I'm in Portland, Oregon, so I mean, you already know who was in the theater with us, but nonetheless, it you know, I believe. You know, that I'm in one of those cities that they believe they're so liberal. So you could just, you know, oh yeah, oh he got away. Yeah, take that as you will. Um, so, so moving on in other news, and interesting news at that. Um, the feds are about to bring charges on or retry uh Brett Hankerson. I'm like, oh, word. So let's see what we got here. Let me see. All right. So says federal prosecutors in Kentucky said they'll retry a disgraced ex-Louisville cop over the 2020 death of Breonna Taylor during a botched police raid after a mistrial in the case last month. Brett Hankerson faces Brett Hankerson. Is that how you say it? Hankerson? 47 faces civil rights violations in Taylor's March 13th, 2020 shooting death inside her Louisville apartment, but dodged a conviction when the jury remained deadlocked after only 20 hours of deliberation on November 26th. They were deadlocked for only 20 hours. Oh, man, I guess just gotta let him go. You kidding? Wow. On Wednesday, prosecutors said they'll try again, telling us District Judge Rebecca Gray Jennings they'll take him back to trial sooner rather than later. Okay. We'll see. We won't hold our breath. The highly explosive fatal shooting came amid a surge in the Black Lives Matter movement that questioned excessive police violence targeting Black residents like Taylor. You know what's funny about that? The Black Lives Matter actually never really did anything about that. No, they came out and they spoke loud, and then they always made a real hard pivot. And pretty much how they started, they showed you that they were tools for the Democrats when they jumped on Bernie Sanders' stage. So you should have known right there what time it was with them. I mean, they right off the rip showing you where they at. But, you know, they always like the Black Lives Matter movement. No, it's a Black empowerment movement. And, you know, Black Lives Matter now just sounds like Black empowerment now just can be coined up in a phrase that it's Black Lives Matter. And now you always tie it to an organization, which some people that represent lineages have also made an organization and political group. Blueberry Muffin with the super chat. I appreciate that, my good sister. Yes, indeed. No reparations, no vote. Boots to asses. I know that's right. I'm Black, not a person of color. FBA all day, every day. I so appreciate that. Thank you, my good sister. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on you and yours. Yes, indeed. Thank you again for that super chat. And I see Key Prince in the building. Welcome, welcome, Key Prince. Always good to see you. Always good to see you in the house. Thank you for being here on this Good Friday evening. So, yeah, now back to this. Let me make that bigger here. Okay. So, let's see. Where was I at? Taylor, 26, was shot and killed in Louisville when Louisville cops stormed her home as part of a drug investigation targeting her ex-boyfriend who no longer lived with her. Her new boyfriend claiming he believed the raid was a push-in robbery, and for all intents and purposes, you're kicking in the door on what you calling a no-knock warrant. Whatever. Her new boyfriend claiming, okay. Let's see. Okay, grabbed a gun and fired at the cops, or no, firing at intruders. See, that's one thing that the way they frame that. No, if you just said he thought it was a kick in, this was a kick door robbery. All he was doing was firing at intruders. This is what, 3 a.m? They naked. Somebody trying to kick in your door? Yeah, this is a robbery. And I mean, you know, the way things is, it's not like it's obviously he saw that, oh, well, this could be. And understand, if her ex-boyfriend was a drug dealer at some point, then, you know, it's not hard to believe that brother was in the right. And shout out to Judge Olu Stevens that saw fit that brother will not be facing any more charges about this business, to where a woman is absolutely dead, while all of these cops only got charged any kind of harsh punishment for firing a shot into the white folks' home next door. Yep, no racial bias there, right? Lord, and here's another thing too. They now they're gonna help them out with the story again. So he grabbed a gun and fired at the cop, striking one of them, while three of the officers, including Hankerson, returned fire. Now, I believe it has been widely reported that they fired first, right? Yeah, if I remember, the bullets are coming through the door. So that sound like that Fred Hampton type of police reporting. Oh man, Taylor was struck 6 times and unfortunately deleted. I mean, and that you hit her 6 times. What is a naked woman doing being shot 6 times? Like, you unloaded on this girl. Lanita Baker. And here's another thing I always wondered about that, man. If y'all have watched me for a while, I have long suspected that some of these people might have known each other, because one thing that's always left out about Breonna Taylor is that she is a first responder. That part of the story is always like, oh yeah, she kind of like, you downplay the EMT. That's a first responder. And we're and during the pandemic, mind you, while you're celebrating, we're gonna light up our porches for the first responders and show them all some love. Meanwhile, Breonna Taylor, who one of the pictures that you always see of her is her in her EMT uniform. But that never gets, so first responder Breonna Taylor was wiped out by these police officers with a faulty warrant. Notice how you haven't heard that part yet about that bad warrant either, an illegal warrant. And they just, you just leaving that out the story too. Oh, all right. So Lanita Baker, an attorney representing Taylor's family, told reporters after November mistrial that the November mistrial that they were disappointed by the outcome of the trial, but held out hope for justice. This is not the outcome they wanted, but we are here for the long game, Baker said. We live for another day to fight for justice for Breonna. Wow. We know all of this part. This jerk. And they're showing the protests. Okay, and this is this basic end of it. One of the cops, Kelly Goodlett, pleaded guilty last year, while charges are still pending against 2 others, Joshua Haynes and Sergeant Kyle Meany. Both are awaiting trial in federal court. Hankerson's lawyer, Steve Matthews, told jurors during last month's trial that the former cop was simply reacting when he returned fire after Taylor's boyfriend shot at the officers. If someone fires at the police are going to fire back at you, Matthews told the panel. And that's exactly what happened here. That almost rubs me as, he got what he deserved type of line. But I mean, maybe it wasn't meant to come off that way. Or maybe it was. Or maybe just simply it was. Goodness. Okay, so Okay, so and going on to the next story, which is absolutely hilarious. I want to touch on this one. Did y'all hear about DeSantis? The whole DeSantis, because Newsom, I guess he was on the Seth Meyers show, and he said DeSantis isn't woke, isn't anti woke. He's anti black. And the interesting thing about that story, and I mentioned it on Wednesday, when you hear about somebody coming out talking about anti-black, that's very rare. But Gavin Newsom has some skin in the game because of the reparations panel, which has shown, some movement. You got multiple. It is literally spawned and spiraled into reparation panels all over the United States, especially where it's a heavy concentration of black folks. So, and that, I'm surprised. Well, I guess I'm kind of torn. I'm surprised that there's not more of these happening in the South. But who knows? I mean, shoot. I mean, even in the Midwest, there's everybody got a claim. Like America wasn't built for free. Time is the bill is due. You pay up. Time to kick them chips on in. And I don't believe reparations should be this. I don't believe. Get your tail up out our face with that BS. And that was another interesting thing. Notice how they had them debating, which I guess that was almost like a preliminary run. That one was kind of like, let's see what it looks like with two different individuals. Because truth be told, after this go around with Trump and Biden, the candidate scenario looks very bleak for both parties. And so the people who are smart are jumping ship now and starting to establish themselves as independents, which is probably the best thing to do. Because at this point, you're looking at two parties that have held down so much of this country. Like, look at Sheila Jackson Lee trying to get back into office because, of course, she failed in her mayoral race, which kind of odd that you would think you would go back to win that seat, but whatever. And I hope Amanda Edwards does not drop out. I hope she does not drop out. Stay in that race, sister. Go get your Congress seat. Representative. I mean, because, these old Negroes, this is what's really sad about it, too, because you're not allowing anyone to flourish but yourself, and you're withering. So that's what they think of the. So put this in perspective. The Jim Clyburns and all of these old Negroes over there at the Black Caucus. This is what they think of the future of their own community to which they come from. That's how I say it all the time. You know how much they hate black people? But they black, though. You know how much they hate black people? Man, how you think they hate black people? Man, do you understand how much they hate black people? Because there's some hard-headed people out there. Man, look how that blue dark as this and dark as night and blah, blah, blah. Do you understand? And I'm sure that so many people don't. But, I mean, man, we got to... I ain't saying go soldier story on them, but that's stuff we have to just cut out of the way. You understand what I'm saying? Cut out of the mix. So next, let me go to this story here, because this was very interesting. One thing I wanted to do with this story is kind of make a comparison to what we have already known and seen, how they do rich black men, like Jonathan Major's case. And it looks like yesterday was a historical day. The irony is insane. I mean, absolutely insane. So y'all see this story. Okay, so two white girls get lost. 17 black men arrested. On December 14th, 1948, local police found two 12-year-old white girls alone in the area of University Park, Maryland. The girls told police officers that they had been attacked by a black man with a big knife who tried to tear their clothes off. This bare bones accusation sent 60 Maryland state and D.C. police to the University Park area, where officers wrongly arrested and detained 17 black men for questioning. Hours later, the girls confessed that they fabricated the entire story after getting lost on the way to view holiday decorations in downtown Washington, D.C. The girls admitted to police they tore their own clothes and they acted hysterical in hopes of getting a ride rather than investigate the girl's story from the start, which could have quickly exposed the inconsistencies and established it as a lie. Police had instead launched an immediate massive manhunt, rounding up black men for arrest on sight and subjecting them to interrogation to prove their innocence. Wow. Now this is wicked as all get out. For decades, black Americans have been subjected to repeated harassment, mistreatment, and police attacks, along with widespread racial discrimination. Black people are burdened with the presumption of guilt and dangerousness that is deeply rooted in our history of racial injustice and fueled by the myth of racial difference. Young black men in particular are seen as threatening figures who should be feared, monitored, and even hunted. This ongoing presumption of guilt is dangerous in its interest. You're going to have to forgive me on this one. Eccentricity. I can't even get that one out. It's tied to its history of racial terror and lynching. Between 1877 and 1950, thousands of black men were lynched in the U.S., and nearly 1 in 4 were targeted based on the allegations of R-ing a white woman. These men were subjected to mob murder with investigation or trial. Yeah, and that happened many a times. Well, oftentimes they would come get them dudes from the jail, so they wouldn't even get a chance to go to trial. So put that in perspective. Like, you're going to get the dude out of his cell to go lynch you. Yeah, wicked, wicked, wicked. At a time when the definition of black on white in the South was incredibly broad and required no allegation of force, because white institutions, laws, and most white people rejected the idea that a white woman could or would willingly consent to sex with a black man. Now that's a lie in itself. I mean, now that's belief. See, this is the one thing I don't like about the way this piece is written, is because it lets people off the hook with this presumption of their ignorance of us, and that is absolutely false. They are absolutely not ignorant at all. So it's not that they view us in any type of way. No, all of this is just used as means of control. So so what I'm getting at is it is basically trying to trivialize white supremacy or systematic white supremacy. And it's like, no. What you are describing is an absolute systematic anti-black system. I mean, there is no other way around it, but they're trying to, well, see, we believe, and here's the other thing. Let's not presume what a white supremacist knows and not. That's another mistake people make too often. Let's see, where was I at? This meant that any action by a black man that could be interpreted as seeking or desiring contact with a white woman might prove deadly. Ooh-wee. Throughout the lynching era, black men were lynched for knocking on the door of a white woman's home, for delivering a letter to a white woman, or for entering a room where a white woman was sitting. A white woman's claim of victimization at the hands of a black man, whether true or not, could often lead to brutal and deadly violence. Okay, so with that, like, okay, think of Jonathan Major's situation right there. Now, the police can't come in there and just, like, do him in. You can't just do that. But so what's the next best thing? Let's get charges on him. Because let's put this in perspective. These police see this little white girl up in here. She an exotic one too, because she's from England. And then he's in a Manhattan penthouse, a 3-level Manhattan penthouse. And here they come, as if, you don't know what he does. So you understand actors do get paid on that type of scale. But he's still in there. And so they did what they could and made a case that where there was none. But just because her claims, and then tried to coach her basically in the trying to talk up the situation to get him arrested when he's the one to call the police. So soon after, soon after the hoax was revealed, police announced that no charges would be filed against the 2 white girls. Of course not. Despite their serious false report resulting in the wrongful arrest of 17 innocent black men and creating the potential for much worse. I'll say the police also issued no apology for the way their overreach and unlawful detainment had targeted these black men without any evidence. Wow. Wow. I mean, that's man, what can you say? Man. Wow. I mean, that's all I can really say about that right now is wow. And it really makes me think of Jonathan Majors. I mean, because man, they trying to cook that brother. But I believe that he'll be exonerated because the way. But what's killing it is the way the media is trying to play this story. And I mean, they almost to the point of just flat out lying. But, oh man, here, this looks so bad. And it's really not. It's really not. And then, you just gotta, oh, you know what? I got it. Yeah, I just thought of something. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I gotta show y'all this. Man, the way they do us, family, is just, it's incredible. It is incredible. This is it. Hold on. Well, these folks are so cold with it. I would say heartless with it. Sister Deja Taylor. Now, from the start of this whole 6-year-old school shooter who shot his teacher, I told you from the way that they were talking about the whole situation, that kid was black. And then when I saw the school board meeting, I played that on this broadcast, and we went over that. It sounded like a Klan rally. Like, well, we're going to rile them up because something has to be done about this kid. He's 6. Oh, this young man, he's 6. And now you are taking his mother away from him for this. I mean, it's so crazy. It's insane. Rhonda Smith in the building. Welcome, Rhonda Smith. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you. Yes, indeed. And, you tuning in late, hey, being late is nothing wrong with that. You are here, and of course, you can always watch a replay, Lois Hub in the house. Welcome, my good sister Lois. It's always good to see you, too. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that, like I said, this sister Deja Taylor, man, they're trying to roast this sister, man. It's all bad.
And breaking tonight, the mother of the Rich Neck Elementary School shooter will spend 2 years in state prison. Today, a judge called Deja Taylor's actions egregious after she was found guilty of felony child neglect.
Emily Harrison was there when the judge handed down the sentence. She is live now. And Emily, this decision goes well beyond the sentencing guidelines.
That's exactly going to be the case. A Newport News judge sentenced Deja Taylor to a total of 5 years, 2 of which she will spend in state prison. And the other 3 years are suspended at this time. The judge told the courtroom he could not follow the sentencing guidelines of 0 to 6 months because, quote, these guidelines do not take all the facts and history of this case into account. Deja Taylor stood stone still as the judge handed down the sentence. The judge said he could not follow the sentencing guidelines of 0 to 6 months because, quote, this is significantly more serious than lying on a form. Child neglect is the most serious crime, the most serious charge. Taylor's attorney, James Ellenson, says he is disappointed.
She was smoking. Okay, so I mean, considering the area, then y'all gonna hit Hunter Biden up, right? Now you got Hunter Biden over there with the whole Mann Act that charge that he should be getting charged with. I don't know what's happening. What's going on there? Man, oh, my father had nothing to do with my business dealings. Did he have something to do with that trafficking that they kind of accusing you of? Because there's some Mann Act business going on around that brother. Oh, well, now I say brother, that man. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, he got some Mann Act issues cracking. I want to come holler at you, sir. And out there, I believe they are. So I mean, that's a whole crap show. And now we're gonna have one former president and one current president getting impeached. Oh, this is just ridiculous. That's just stupid. It just doesn't make any sense. They don't have any basis for it. I got biscuits and catfish, but I don't know what's wrong with these Republicans. And have y'all been paying attention to Hakeem Jeffries' family? Did not tell you that he's going to keep that key phrase, those MAGA extreme, with the MAGA extremists, and again, the MAGA extremists, MAGA. They're MAGA extremists. That's what they are. And Hakeem Jeffries.
Nigga, you a Frankenstein.
Oh, Lord. So, again, back to this story.
With the decision.
We think it was excessive. I think there are guidelines for a reason, and I think the guidelines were adequate in this case, and I just respectfully disagree with Judge Papil.
Right now, Taylor is serving 21 months for 2 federal charges because she lied on her gun registration and will now serve this 2-year prison sentence consecutively to it. When handing down the sentence, the judge also questioned Taylor's remorse. He pointed to public statements Taylor has made about her son's frustration with his teacher, Abby Warner, and Taylor's, quote, misleading statements about where she kept the gun in her home. Ellenson.
So wait a minute. Wait. So hold on. So you are really cooking this girl? Hold on.
Follow the sentencing guidelines of 0 to 6 months because, quote, this is significantly more serious than lying on a form. Child neglect is the most serious crime, the most serious.
They're sentencing guidelines for a reason. So, number one, you're doing above and beyond. No, you're putting this on as a show. This is a show. Yeah, we're going to make an example of you. That's all this was. Wow. Okay. All right.
Charge. Taylor's attorney, James Ellenson, says he is disappointed with the decision.
We think it was excessive. I think there are guidelines for a reason, and I think the guidelines were adequate in this case, and I just respectfully disagree with Judge Papil.
Right now, Taylor is serving 21 months for 2 federal charges because she lied on her gun registration and will now serve this 2-year prison sentence consecutively to it. When handing down the sentence, the judge also questioned Taylor's remorse. He pointed to public statements Taylor has made about her son's frustration with his teacher, Abby Warner, and Taylor's, quote, misleading statements about where she kept the gun in her home. Ellenson says an appeal is possible, as he says Taylor's statements should not have been a factor.
There's a couple of things from a legal perspective. I don't know that he can even take that into account.
Great point.
Because that was not evidence that was presented in court today. So I think the judge is looking outside of what evidence had been introduced in court.
Teacher Abby Warner did not have a comment walking out of Newport News Circuit Court following the sentencing, but she read a victim impact statement on the stand. She told the judge, quote, this never would have happened to me if not for the defendant's actions or lack thereof.
No forgiveness whatsoever.
Now, while Taylor is going to be serving her time in prison, there is still a protective order between her and her son. She is still able to have supervised visits with her son, but she cannot have any criminal or offensive behavior in front of him. And it is entirely up to the discretion of the child's guardian, which is going to be Calvin Taylor, who is Deja Taylor's grandfather. In Newport News, I'm Emily Harrison, 13 News Now.
Okay, Emily, thanks. And following Taylor's release from prison, she will have 2 years probation. She'll be required to undergo a psychological evaluation, counseling to overcome drug addiction, and she'll have to take parenting classes.
Y'all doing the most. That woman smoked weed. It's like weed is legal all up and down the West Coast. So I mean that sounds silly. She needs to go get some drug counseling for marijuana. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. So you're supposedly not supposed to be in the state of Virginia or Maryland, which is very interesting. You're not supposed to be owning a gun. And so I believe that Hunter Biden has also have the same. He's actually, well, that's one of the charges or something. I believe he's up against. So they're giving her that kind of time to go. Let's go above and beyond. And instead of running them concurrent, you run them consecutively. What has that woman done to earn that? And how does that benefit? Notice how no one is thinking about the interests of this kid. He is still a 6-year-old child. And all they are worried about is this little blonde Becky. That's all they worried about. Damn this kid. I mean, that's a cold deal, ain't it? That's cold, boy. But I mean, it lets you know what time it is. It really show you what time it is with these people and how they get down. So before I get to the last story, actually, there's a couple things. There's this odd, bizarre story that we have to touch on real quick because I don't even know how to feel about this. I don't know how to even feel about this next story, family. Yeah, just oh man, let me know what y'all think, man. This is one that when I saw the thumbnail, like, oh, oh, and then I just started thinking like the irony of this all. Oh, this sucks. So here we go.
Well, new tonight, we're learning new details about a FedEx worker killed while on the job at the company's World Hub last week.
A very dedicated employee. She had worked for FedEx for a long time. She was 86-year-old Verna Mae Jackson, known to be dedicated to her very demanding job. And it can be dangerous work. 5 people have been killed there in the past 6 years.
ABC 24's Jay Shakur is here with what we've learned about Jackson. Jay.
Why the hell was she still working at that age? That's one question I have. Why the hell was she still working at that age? That's insane.
That's right, Richard Pepper. Verna Mae Jackson's family attorney, Jeff Rosenblum, told me Jackson's death is one of 3 at the Memphis Hub in just the past year or so. Unlike most of us who retire much sooner, he says Jackson loved her job so much she planned to keep going and retire next spring. Gone too soon. That's what the family attorney says about Verna Mae Jackson.
A lovely 86-year-old woman who enjoyed her job, and her family wants the community to know that she loved working for FedEx and she loved the people that she worked with.
Who loves working at 86 years old? You love working at 86? I believe, was it Jason Black that spoke on this before, this type of thing before, where these folks will die in these factories. Like these people down there in the South, they just working like you realize you ain't no slave. What happened to their retirements? Because at 86 years old, why are you working? Like, what's going on down there? She's happy to be at FedEx. I mean, shoot, she over here dying on the job. Oh, man.
was killed.
Her loved ones taking to social media posting things like, "My heart hurts so bad right now. She was the sweetest lady in the world." Her church, Emmanuel Missionary Baptist, posting to Facebook, "A living, lasting memory. Our grateful hearts," they say, "they'll treasure." Attorney Rosenblum says as long as her life was, it didn't have to end while on the job.
The safety precautions that could have protected her were not in place. This was a completely preventable death.
Rosenblum told me a driver pulling a load of mail didn't honk adequately enough to signal as they were driving off, just as Jackson attempted to grab an envelope that was sticking out of a container. While working the world's second busiest cargo airport can leave little room for error, Rosenblum says
there's technology available that would allow the vehicle to make that sound, to warn everybody, to alert people that the vehicle's about to move before it moves an inch. And we believe that if those precautions have been taken, if that equipment had been purchased, or maybe this equipment was there and not maintained appropriately, she wouldn't be dead.
He also says Jackson's tragic death is indicative of greater systemic and legal issues.
We have met with legislators in Nashville, state senators, state reps, and said we need to change the law.
While FedEx said in a statement it wanted to extend its deepest sympathies to the Jackson family, it said nothing about what happened, only that safety is the company's highest priority. Rosenblum says a decision won't be made on whether to sue FedEx until it sees if anything is revealed from the agencies investigating Jackson's death.
All right. That's crazy, huh? I mean, why aren't the family speaking for themselves? Great question. Dark-skinned brother said it's hard to get to retirement here in Mississippi without fighting years for it. Wow. I would have Lois said, I will have on my tombstone, left this planet psychologically decolonized. I know that's right. Oh yeah, Lescaden said these folks always go above and beyond when it comes to us. Shaking my damn head. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? You better know it. Okay. All right. So let's see where we gotta go next. Where we got to go next? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, let's walk this down. Let's see. Where shall I start? Guess we'll go here. All right. So bear with me 1 second. Get this on here. So, giving an update as we're going to talk about Hannah Payne. And Hannah Payne then got her sentence. As you know, we talked about her getting convicted on Wednesday. And tonight they have served up her sentence today. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, I'm sure there's a lot of dub asses out there that are extremely upset today. And some people like, oh man, I don't think she really got enough because she got parole. I don't think you understand. She has, I think she'll be 70 something by the time she's eligible for parole. I believe 78. On a rough calculation, but she'll be somewhere around there. But she has her life sentence on top of another 13 years. So, that's going to be a minute. So what is it? 34 years before she even get a chance to go before the parole board. So yeah, she got a good cooking. She most definitely got a good cooking. We ain't seen one like this. I mean, this is life with parole, but I mean, this is damn near life. When she get out, she gonna be one of the oldest felons walking the streets free. And yeah, that's life. So now let's hear from the judge.
Please stand, Ms. Lee. With respect to count 1, malice murder, the court will impose a sentence of life with a possibility of parole. With respect to count 2, felony murder, that will merge into count 1 and is dismissed as a matter of law. With respect to count 3, aggravated assault, that merges into counts 1 and 2. With respect to count 4, felony murder, that merges into count 1 and it is dismissed as a matter of law. With respect to count 5, the false imprisonment verdict, the court imposes a sentence of 8 years consecutive. With respect to count 6, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, the court imposes a sentence of 5 years that will run consecutive to the underlying sentence. Count 7 and 8 will merge into count 6. So the court's total sentence is life with the possibility of parole plus 8 years consecutive on the false imprisonment and 5 years consecutive on the possession of firearm during the commission of a felony. And that is the court sentence. So I remand you again, Ms. Payne, into the custody of the Sheriff's Department. Before I do have some instructions for you, Ms. Payne.
So she pretty much just tells her what her rights are. That's typical for sentencing. So she'll learn what she could do and how much time she could file for appeal, who to file it with, and such and so forth. But there was something I want y'all to see, which was the lawyer. Her lawyer. Now he goes up there and tries to get some leniency. Now, something I want to show y'all. Now, notice this right here. Notice that he has his mask on, right? Now, remember when we were playing the video the other day, and you could see the contempt on his face for that sister that was speaking? It's very interesting that he comes in. Ain't nobody else in there got a mask on. No one else in there has a mask on, except for these two in the back. The two randoms in the back. But outside of that, nobody else has a doggone mask on. Look at right there. What are you doing? So you got these two back here. They got masks on. But, yeah, really, dude? Okay, so let me fast forward a bit. Because he started talking about how young she is and, she's young and this. So I'll give him a little more ride. Let's hear him go. He already read, ain't he?
And with a narrow approach of it, not to let the media try to guide your understanding of what was going on. Came with open mind, open eyes, wanting to see what was going on. And throughout the course of the trial, there were inconsistencies. I mean, the state saying it was with my client. I'm saying it was with their witnesses. I don't think we heard really anything from the witnesses that matched up with what, we could conclude happened. And during that process, there were lots of things brought up and a lot of unnecessary biases added to their statements. As for disrespectful, I felt the witnesses were disrespectful. I don't think any of the witnesses gave the respect they should have to the court and to the court officers. But that's part of what happens when you're in a trial. As for Ms. Payne, I think you heard her on the stand when asked, is there anything you could go back you would change? And she kind of dropped her head and said, you know what? I wouldn't even helped out at the beginning. I would not have listened to that state officer.
No. She wouldn't have interfered and meddled in someone else's business to which she had nothing involved outside of she wanted to go be Miss Policeman. So let's being a busybody is not wanting to help out. There's no help in being a busybody. And as we see, there's no help being a busybody. This is how it played out because she was a busybody, not because of, oh, well, her intention, who gives a crap? Her intentions was getting involved in someone else's business first and foremost. There is no help after that. She went in there to exalt herself, and that's how it turned out. And now a man is gone behind her exalting herself and then going to run up on him acting like, do what I tell you to do, and then shoot him. No, sir.
Tried to help out. And that's a shame that somebody who has good in the heart is no longer ever going to want to help anybody because
she ain't going to have to worry about that.
For lack of a better saying, no good deed goes unpunished.
That wasn't a good deed. She's not a police officer. She got involved with something that she had nothing to do with. Meddling in other affairs is not a good deed.
But that was a decision she made.
Yeah.
And a decision that, her
consequence,
upbringing, her standards, her values put her in that situation.
No.
And that decision is what got us here today. And that decision, according to the...
Oh, so all of them are messy. Her daddy and her mama are both messy. Because none of that had anything to do with help. It has everything to do with interjecting in here. Let's corral this Negro. Remember the, I wondered, hold on. Let me see if I still have that in here. It's a TikTok I played not too long ago. Come on, I know I gotta have that. Please tell me I still have that. Bear with me real quick, cause I'm like, yeah. There it is. Bam, I knew I still had it. Yeah. I don't think so. This is, see, what he's doing is, she's just trying to help people. And she's just trying to help. Don't ever fall for this line, family, because that's total horse crap. And what he's doing is trying to be like, well, her good and honest nature. But let's go back and remember about what was said in that TikTok video about how slavery was able to be successful for so long.
I get this question a lot. Why did slavery take so long to end in the U.S.? I mean, we had 3 major rebellions and none of them worked. Slave owners in America had something nobody else had. 5 million poor white people. That's what W.E.B. Du Bois argued in 1935. He said slavery demanded a special police force. And he wasn't just talking about slave patrols. Poor whites, folks who had nothing in Europe. In America, they labored long hours with little pay and terrible work conditions. These 5 million poor whites created an informal surveillance system. They snitched, kidnapped, and returned slaves. They made sure nobody got out of line. And when slave rebellion started, they came out in even larger numbers. Keep in mind, they didn't own any slaves. They weren't making a real profit. And they probably could have changed their conditions had they teamed up with us and waged a class struggle. But policing blacks was the only thing that made them white. It was the only thing that connected them to the planter class. Du Bois said they were just pleasing their own vanity. So before Ring, ADT, whatever you got, poor whites were the surveillance system for wealthy slave owners. Without the white public's investment in maintaining slavery, we would have tore the whole system down. Now who's responsible for reparations?
The jury is wrong. And just because it was a bad decision doesn't make her a bad person. It just makes her human. We all are human. And she is young in age. And I believe the state's assessment is correct about what charges would merge with which ones. With malice murder, even though we'd agree to disagree, I just did not hear elements that would do that. And maybe it's because I know Hannah from the 4 years we've been preparing for this. But to give her life without parole is to take a person and tell her you'll never get a chance to get back out and get that good. So we would respectfully request that the court look back at what all was said, look back at what all was done and was brought forth, and fully understand she never intended anything that day when she left from work to end up being there, to be in a struggle with Mr. Aaron, to be on the side of the road, to have to pull her gun, to.
Wait a minute. There was never any excuse for her to pull her gun, and she was bobbing and weaving through traffic to go get him to cut him off. All of that, none of that she needed to do. None of it was necessary. And again, isn't the point that she was supposed to be getting his license plate? Why are you cutting him off when you're behind him? All you need to do is get your phone up here. You're driving. Let me get close enough. Get a video. And if he stopped at the light, why do you need to get out of your car? And they're going to say that the 911 officer told both of them to go back. Y'all need to go listen to that woman's testimony. Boy, she lied herself up a storm. And she got cooked because they saw her through her lies. And then another thing she tried to sit up here and make it seem. Oh, it's just an accident. Oh, he grabbed the gun. And he grabbed the trigger. My finger. You're going up to somebody with your finger on the trigger? Now, they saying she has a concealed weapons permit. That means she had to go through training on how to use properly use a firearm. What's rule number 1? Never put your finger on the trigger unless you're about to use it. So you mean to tell me that rule? So you're with your finger on the gun. So number 1, if why would you not be maintaining distance with him? You've never seen anybody reaching in somebody's car window with a gun. That's insane. You have the distance on him. Why wouldn't you just fire from a position if that was the case? But here's the point. You said that you were supposed to be letting him out of the car. Well, he needs to go back. Well, you didn't. And here's another thing. You said he's drunk and he might be harming somebody, but now you want him to drive back to the scene. That make any sense? Like, yeah, you damn right they cooked your ass. You lying piece of crap.
Protect herself and the gun going off. There was never any intent to have that. It was an accident. And
no, it's never an accident when you see what he's doing. They already convicted the woman by now, but now he's really trying to, and he know he got this Caribbean woman judge, so he ain't got he's not too sure about the ally here, and obviously he didn't have much one, but they did give her parole. I said it should be about 78. But she got parole.
And by the grace of God, when it did, she wasn't shot by it. And it was terrible and a tragedy that Mr. Herring was. But
no, that was called murder, sir. And that's what she's charged with. She's not just charged with like how people, well, I don't think that we got enough evidence to substantiate first degree. I think it's second or third degree, and maybe it's manslaughter. And no, they hit her with malice murder. Are you kidding? Malice murder? No, ma'am. No, brother. No, sir. No, malice. I mean, so, yeah. And again, I can't help it. And I see Jason Black also made a tweet about that. Well, a post. Like I was saying the other night, this is how George Zimmerman should be sitting right now. This is exactly how George Zimmerman should be sitting right now. Right now. But he over here, yeah, she's young. And, and so we already know the petition for leniency is coming.
But, she is a young person who has plenty of life ahead of her.
Yeah,
we just hope that the court would use the discretion to allow her to have some of that life to continue. The charge number 5, the false imprisonment, it does say it could be run concurrent or it could be run consecutive, but it also says it can be probated. And the 5 years for the gun can be probated. And I think the court would hopefully look into what has been said today from both sides. Unfortunately, I was not able to speak with the jurors to see what their mindset was, to find out conclusively, was it dead set because the facts were overwhelming, or was it something they discussed? So I really can't go into details of what the jury said. I just can go in what I heard and wrote down, and I saw you making numerous notes. And I would hope the court would use those notes in coming to the decision to sentence her to life with parole and allow the other two, the one charge to be run concurrent, the other one has to be consecutive. Our hands are kind of tied on that. But understand that, this was all done with good intentions. And I know they say
no, you don't hop out with a weapon at somebody and then start assaulting them. Because again, all she did was assault this man, and then an assault escalated into a deletion. What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? No, buddy. And here's the problem. It's on camera. All this being distraught and she was not the aggressor. You see her being the aggressor on camera. There's no doubt about it. You see where her Jeep is. They asked her in court, did you cut him off with your vehicle to where he couldn't move? No, I did not. Her Jeep is damn near hitting him. Or she's saying that's when he hit her. That's what she's proclaiming. But but you were already out of your car. And so if he's trying to get away from you, because you're a crazy white woman screaming with a gun at him. Why the hell wouldn't he be trying to get? See, it's that McMichael's thinking. And he's talking about good intentions. No, it's not. Because this is what she thought in her mind. That this black man needs to do what I say. Because I'm white and I say so. And I'm going to pull my gun out. And if he doesn't move, when I say move, I'm going to bust around in him. And that's what she did. This is not a woman with good intentions. We've seen just how dishonest she could be. Where's the goodness in a bona fide, bald-faced liar who will lie in court against what people are going to actually hear as evidence? I didn't hear the woman tell me that I didn't hear her tell me. She told you 4 times and you responded to her multiple times about what she said. I don't remember hearing her tell me not to follow anymore. I just don't. That sister was on that 911 call. Ma'am. Oh no, I'm almost got to. And then she hops out. So no, you were all the way in your own mind. If y'all want to go get some evidence on, like I said, this is a classic textbook lesson on how deep deception goes with the white supremacists. Well, suspected because they don't want to say this is about race.
Yeah, road to hell is paved with good intentions.
But she didn't have it.
But she's never seen that road. She's never seen what happens out there in car accidents and arguments and walking up on cars in Clayton County. And to sentence somebody to life without parole for being naive or trying to do something with the goodness of a heart, I think is a little bit harsher than what is necessary in this case. And I would just put it to the court.
The goodness of her heart. She killed someone and she's charged and convicted of malice murder. You still up in way she's a good person and she's great. I mean, she's a good dude. No, she's not. She's a convicted bad person. It just get over it. Dude. Where, the road to hell is paved with bad intentions, paved with good intentions. Good intentions for who? Who was this supposed to turn out good for? Who? I mean, there's nobody's benefiting. His family don't benefit. I'm sure the people that were at the were initially in that. How must that feel like? Okay, the dude that I just got into an accident with, and then is dead because the woman that ain't had nothing to do with our accident then took it upon herself to go chase him down and then shoots the man. I'd be looking at that like, what the hell is wrong with this woman? And then here's the other part for me. Breaking out all of these Dominicans and then trying to use Dominicans as an aesthetic. It's like, you know how out of touch now you displayed before the world that you are so out of touch with the Black community that you walked in there with Dominicans, thought that was going to be, well, look, the first thing that out that Dominican's mouth was, oh, we are all human. We all human. We all one race. No, we don't see color. We know you don't, because ask a Dominican if they're Black. And you saw that Black woman just dark as day. Like, that woman don't identify with Black. I mean, especially, find me a Dominican that identify with being Black. Where they at? It's darker. I mean, they'll be 10 shades darker than me. Ain't gonna relate to me. And you have to be out your mind, man. Blueberry muffin. Man. If you don't understand, go Google a picture of Sammy Sosa. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I mean, you the poster child of what I'm talking about. Sammy Sosa looked like a Ken doll. He looked like he made out of plastic now. That looks insane. You remember when he was Black? I mean, good grief. Can you imagine like David Ortiz, what's up, bleaching his skin, Big Papi, just bleaching his skin? It's like, man, and these dudes will absolutely ride they Hispanic. I'm Latino, I'm a Hispanic, man. I'm Hispanic. I'm not Black. And then, reparations. Man, we all Black. We all Black, man. We all one color. There's no separation. We're all the same. No, that's not true. Yes, there is. We are part of one species of beings on this planet. That is true. But just like different breeds of species of dogs, we have different species of people. I don't know how that we don't see. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make any logical sense. But nonetheless, let's hear a little more of this whining. Well, actually, we've heard enough. I mean, but there is, because he's asking for the leniency, and we've already heard that. So that was pretty much, and she's young. And yeah, she's young. I mean, because she's young, I mean, and her being young, I mean, come on, Judge. I'm sure you understand. Because, she's young. And why? We don't do white women like this. Come on now, baby. You just can't do them like that. I mean, and just think of, what do we want next? A bunch of our daughters be like some of these other individuals out here with identity issues? Because there's some people out here with identity issues, and don't ever think that our culture comes from some other place. We are the culture right here, foundational Black Americans. We are the culture. And no matter how much you think about it, well, it's not, man, Black Americans have no culture. But then what's she trying to sound like?
What? Yes, I have an accent because I ain't from here. I was born in Thailand, and I grew up in Georgia for a decade. And then I fucking moved to Nebraska. Ain't she over there, by the way? How the hell y'all gonna tell me how I'm supposed to sound like? You want me to speak in broken English, bitch? The fuck? Or would you like for me to speak formally to you, sir? Fuck out of here, man.
All right. You said woo yap. You mess with you, Blueberry Muffin. Oh, Lord. Oh, man. Okay, so let's see where we got to go next. Where are we going next? Okay. How am I going to do this? Let me bring that down. And just 1 second, family. All right. Okay, I think we're getting where we want to be. And okay, I got that in here. So let me start bringing this other window up real quick so we can talk about this last story. I see Geechee Gold in the house. What's going on, man? Geechee Gold, man, I walked into there. Yes, indeed. Geechee Gold, welcome. Blueberry Muffin. Cynthia Newman in the house. Welcome, Cynthia Newman. I see you. Always good to see y'all in the house on Friday evening. Oh, and Queen Nile in the building. Hey, Queen Nile in the building. I see you. Me and Sister Judge tell this RWS attorney is out. Man, for real. Sun kissed by the Most High. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Mr. Power Tool. Yes, indeed. Drake Miller in the house. All right. Got them violins going. Man, I'm telling you, violins for real. She's young. And I mean, again, by the way, if I didn't mention it, she's young. I mean, on the young side. I mean, so she got some life ahead of her, and it's all finna to be spent in that prison. That's a long time. All of that for being, whether she was trying to be good. No. She was trying to be a vigilante, and it didn't work out. So, and I hope all the Daniel Penny supporters take note from this. You don't have the right to be the aggressor and choke somebody out while they didn't do anything, and then you sneak up on them from behind and choke them out while no one is being harmed but that person. I hope that things go the right way. And he, now we see, should have a lot more harsher charges. And when we start seeing this type of thing, this is the precedent that this sets. So it's a good thing, because we need to start seeing like malice murder. I ain't never heard of that. I ain't seen nobody ever charge no malice murder. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, for real. Queen Nile, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on you and yours. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Yes, indeed. Oh, yeah. Geechee. Exactly. She been in them around the country, so able to develop the accent. But just like you've seen, she's able to flip back and forth like an actress. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen this, we've seen that before. People that will flip their, like, look at Michael Rappaport. No, Michael Crapaport. Look at that guy. But to this story. And I guess, you know what? Let's do this the right way. And, ladies and gentlemen, this is the weekly wrap-up.
Tick faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. And living the true gods. Giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So with this particular story, I will start with this. And this is why I use this in the thumbnail. Because so many people are right now trying to make this weird comparison to foundational Black American music, especially when it comes down to hip hop, and try to tie it into the Caribbean, try to tie it into Latino music or whatever. And here recently, CNN, one of the producers at CNN, wrote a new article, which is nuts. But, again, they're basically saying that the rhythms of hip hop come from Africa. Well, let's hear what our great Dr. Martin Luther King said. We know nothing about Africa, although our roots are there in terms of our forebears. But I mean, as far as the average Negro today, he knows nothing about Africa. And I think he's got to face the fact that he is an American. His culture is basically American. And one becomes adjusted to this when he realizes what he is. And I have to agree. And yeah, we could say where our forebears came from, but we have to concentrate on where we are based out of. And that's why the video I played at the very beginning, which, I guess for those, since we have so many more people in the chat right now, I will, let me get that back in here, and I'll play this TikTok again for y'all. Because the sister was spitting. And most of y'all, and well, all of y'all in this chat, maybe some people are hate watching, so I can't speak for you, but all of y'all that I see, I know y'all basically are in league and in line with this sister right here.
I just want to make something clear because I'm Black American. My mom and dad are Black American. Their moms and dads, Black American. Their moms and dads, Black American. Their moms and dads, Black American. So maybe we go back like 400 years. Okay? That's what I'm standing on right now. Is I'm Black American. And there's not a particular country for me to go back to because I was born and raised here and my family's been here for hundreds of years. So if I move, it better be because I got reparations that allowed me to move. I am from here. My people cultivated the land here, okay? My ancestry might tell you that I have African DNA. But this land right here, okay? I am owed. So until I get reparations, I don't care if it takes me till I'm 100. Yeah. Reparations or no.
And there it is. So, digging up rap's roots. How African rhythms birthed American hip hop. Start offline. All right. So, article from CNN. Osmic Manoe was a young kid in South Africa when he first fell in love with hip hop culture during the late 80s. At the height of the country's anti-apartheid movement, but like so many, at first he didn't even realize what it was. I got into the culture visually, seeing murals, seeing people spraying graffiti, he explained. I used to like making different sounds with my mouth. I didn't know that's called beatboxing. Manoe grew up to realize the elements of hip hop that he loved went hand in hand with history and culture across the continent. Africa is the beat, Africa is the soul, he said. The only thing about it is the culture that you were liking so much has nothing to do with Africa. That's Black American culture. See how they do? And you said you got into the culture visually. We are a product of the culture, not participants. We are the culture. So it's a big, huge difference. This isn't something you could package and sell. We are a people, a nation of people, in fact. So of course we have our own culture. And if you can participate doing something along the lines of being on the outs, being a spectator, but that doesn't make you part. Let's see. Manoe grew up. We got that part. Yet little had been documented about the origins of the genre there, or the people who took it to new heights. Oh boy, where's that going? What's going to happen when all of these individuals pass away and no one remembers the story? Manoe said. What? We're in America. Our history is fine, dude. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm trying to put my finger on what to call this. It's, you think that we are basically almost like fictional characters. like you see, we're very real, but it's like in their minds, oh, I can make them what I want them to be in my mind. And that's not reality. And ain't black folks is over here like, no, we're pushing back. I mean, you could hear some of these people, these tethers in these spaces. There's a lot of delusion when it comes down to this. And yeah, because they keep making this weird connection to American music and then talking about Africa. It's like the only thing that South Africa has to do with hip hop is that rappers, and because of our culture, were making songs about ending apartheid. So it took American artists to make it a worldwide thing. Let's see what's going to happen when these individuals pass. Okay. Mano said, let's see, it inspired him to start the South African Hip Hop Museum in Johannesburg and the Back to the City Festival. Okay. We can capture all of these stories so that future generations can know what all these people were doing and be inspired, he said. The world has been operating on African cultural resources, not just on our minerals. Whoa, 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 whoa. You're referring to an art form that you came around in the late 80s. What cultural connection is there other than you vicariously living through Black Americans? I don't understand. Oh, 2023 marks what's considered by many to be the 50th anniversary of hip hop, but the origination of the genre continues to be one of the most debated topics in all music. Although most enthusiasts agree that the birthplace of hip hop was in the New York City borough of the Bronx. Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's the manufactured line that the powers that be actually created. Because you can say that, oh, this is the birthplace. It's the birthplace of him singing and partying. But all of that still stems from Black culture, which was already there. You can't have a break beat without the musicians. So the musicians, which are part of this culture, all of it's never leaving this culture. So to say the birthplace of anything that's really, I guess you could say that, but it has no more cultural tie than anything else. That's not people like to talk to Black folks because they're from New York as if being from New York integrates you into Black culture. That's absolute horse crap. You might be in a melting pot in New York, but that show don't go on the road. So you not one of us like that. Cut it out. And then it's New York. And see, that's how you can hold on to a false belief. No, that's our culture there. Our culture just made it to New York. When our culture makes it over to Europe, when our culture makes it over to Japan, when our culture makes it over to Germany, when our culture makes it over to Dubai, that's our culture going and traveling because they want to pay to come see our culture perform wherever we're at. That's just real simple mathematics and facts. Let's see. Many believe the artistic foundation of the genre can be traced back to Africa. No, they don't. No, they don't. Who has ever said that many believe the artistic? Are they talking about the dude that's in our space? That was in our space, the Congo. See, this all originates from the Congo. No, it does not. Stop it. With such a rich history, CNN set out to track down the answers to another timeless hip-hop debate. Which really came first? Did Africa influence hip-hop culture? Or was it influenced by the culture? Wait. The culture. See again. Yeah, see the difference? So, did Africa influence hip hop culture, or was it influenced by the culture? The culture? What culture is of the? Have y'all ever heard of the people? Where them the people at? Who's the people? I've never heard of them th ears. I'm unfamiliar with with that one. Have y'all know who the thes are? I don't know no thes. Yeah, let me help you out, sister. By the way, if you were wondering who the fine person who penned this article, yeah, that's her. And for all intents and purposes, she looks like one of us, but looks like a pan African hustler. So anyway, from Africa to the Bronx and back. Oh Lord. That's a description of a picture. It was widely believed that in 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx was the birthplace of hip hop, the birthplace of hip hop genre, and it all began with DJ Kool Herc. No, it didn't all begin with he was part, and I mean the way they be wording this stuff is crazy to me. On August 11, 1973, his sister Cindy Campbell requested he spin some records at her back to school jam and at the 1520 Community Center. He once told NPR in an interview, the Jamaican-born DJ first tried out his merry-go-round DJing style on the turntables, extending an instrumental break to let people dance, breakdancing, longer than, and began emceeing, rapping, during the extended groove. While this infamous party has its place in hip-hop history, the roots of rap extend back much further, spanning the Atlantic. The hell are you talking about? So again, they have avoided addressing black people. So you saying the culture. You mentioned Africans. You mentioned Kool Herc's Jamaican. But nothing about Black American artists at all. It's just straight up, let's go back to Africa. That's absolute hogwash. Let's see. Dating back to the 13th century, storytellers called griots existed in West African kingdoms and empires. Historically, griots have been highly skilled orators, poets, musicians, praise singers, and no. We need to omit this one here, ma'am. No, ma'am. This one here, you would have to show some hard evidence on that one. I mean, yeah, praise singers. From the people who click, what does that sound like? What melody is that? Not saying that all of them speak that, but I mean, I've heard Nigerians and Kenyans try to sing to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left, on my pen. Oh my Lord. No. Let's just knock it off. And satirists who travel, so you threw the coons in there too, I guess, that traveled around reciting the history of the empire with rhythm and repetition. This widely recognized oral tradition, some argue, could be considered the earliest manifestations of rap. laying the groundwork for the development of hip hop. Yeah, only one problem though. You know, there's a little thing that happened here for, about over, 200, close to 300 plus years. We're still here and slavery's still going on. So now you're at a good, cool 400 years. Guess what else happened in the midst of slavery? Your past was erased. Your culture was erased and replaced. How? With a people who has had everything stripped from him down to not even knowing who the hell they are, all of a sudden in 2023 have the origins of our art forms being birthed in a place that we know not. How does that make any sense? And it's almost like as the people that are coming doing this, you are so uneducated about our history that you'll come out here and be like, this lie makes sense. What are you saying? Totally stripped of your knowing here. And okay, let's just look at it this way. Let's say you're on a plantation. You're about the third, fourth, fifth generation on a plantation. What is being passed down from Africa? Because here's another thing. They didn't keep families intact in slavery. So when you got pulled away from your parents at 5 or 10 or whenever they sold you off, where's the preservation of all of this griot and what happened in West Africa? Where the hell is the preservation of these when you have no connection to even your mother or your father or siblings, because now you have just been plucked from there and put on another plantation, maybe even in another state. These people have no clue on our history and come over here acting like this stuff makes sense. It doesn't make any sense to be saying, ma'am. This is insane. Oh, anyway. I mean, it's just crazy to me, man. It's just totally crazy. No. Where was I at? This while they recognize this and how you value the value. Okay. Rap is fundamentally based on vocal styling based on call and response. No, it's not. No, it is not. Because if you were a poet, being a poet is not that. If you're an orator, a storyteller, that is not a call and response. You know what call and response is? A black preacher. Say yeah. Say yeah. Say yeah. That is call and response. Grab your neighbor and say everything's going to be all right. I don't think that black preacher got that from Africa. And they talk about Africa, the soul. Man, you all don't cut it out. There is nothing soulful about Africa. To be quite honest, when we talk about soul, that is a foundational Black American thing. That's our swag. It's the soul. What soul? Half of you people ain't even got no rhythm. Black is night and ain't got no rhythm the first. Shut up. I mean, I'll tell you, let me bring myself back on this screen. Let me tell you something here. I'll never forget playing at that international joint in Canada. Y'all have no smoke for us. Absolutely zero. To say that you are bringing the funk or you're bringing the soul, are you crazy? And just, it's so funny to watch the animosity on these tethers too. Because, like on that trip, truth be told, I believe part of the reason why we were there is just so they could mistreat us. Still had to pay us though, but yeah, there's that. But you know, when you do stuff like that, so being around so long and understanding, especially on the international side, how these Africans, number one, don't rock with us like that. But now it's convenient, and we're the disruptive ones. When, as a man, when people as a collective group come and say, we not the same, and you can be in a room of about 2,000 to 3,000, and the only people who are relating to you are the Jamaicans and the Trini mines. The Trini man. Them was the only cast that was really rocking with us. There was some of them them Haitians wasn't fooling with us. The man, well, no, I don't. They had some small Dominican group, but it's like, oh, okay, you guys must have came out here to came to Canada to get this international money to represent it. And you finna turn right back around and say, I'm not black. Because it was basically like international sound of color. Some of, or melanin, some of the, so this is back in the 90s, but just understanding, that, man, these folks do not rock with us. But on top of that, though, they can't funk with us at all. There's nothing close. Nothing. Anything that they if they getting funky, you'll be like, okay, you biting us now. It's just simple. That's all it is. Ain't hating. But anyway, so rap is fundamentally based on vocal styling, based on call and response, which is the foundation of all black music. Said O.B. Sika, a Nigerian entrepreneur and record executive who was instrumental in growing the country's music industry. Well, that's over in South Africa. That has nothing. See, she's over there talking about a Nigerian entrepreneur in what? Nigerians and their music? So far, I have not heard any kind of connection yet. All I'm hearing in these weird, well, yeah, see, rap is fundamentally based on vocal sound. And see, this is like Nigeria. No, it ain't. No, it's not. Call and response, where one phrase answers another, either vocally. See, they keep doing it. A lot of this call and response when hip hop is based on rhyming. Bars are bars. What you are talking about is party hyping. What are you saying? You guys invented the hype man? Yeah, boy. Call it one phrase answers another, either vocally or instrumentally, was popularized through artists such as James Brown, himself inspired by gospel music. Well, at least you got that right. It was brought to the forefront of hip hop in the history-making 1980s. Curtis Blow track The Breaks, with a foundation that can be found throughout African history. Oh, somebody doing that. See, here we go. The African. No, we are Black Americans. I don't know what you keep talking about. We're not African. African that's a continent that we don't live on, nor do we have any tie to right now. There's no land that we could go back to. If whatever country was there when we were there doesn't exist no more. So where would we go in Africa? Oh, Gene, music from the Igbo people is at least 1,000 years old. It's call and response. If you listen to the Orikis in Yoruba with the Paris singing, it's call and response. If you listen to the foundation of Fuji from the Yoruba people, it's hip hop. Asika reflected, citing various music styles of different Nigerian ethnic groups, which absolutely have nothing to do with hip hop, but whatever. Music is a ritual for us in Africa. It's not just entertainment, he added. Oh, I know you didn't. No, you didn't. You really gonna try to, oh my God. How are you culture vulturing and ain't gonna try to get high and mighty? Like, it's not just for entertainment. Over here, it's for ritual. Ain't Burna Boy Nigerian? Am I mistaken? Ain't Burna Boy Nigerian? The hell is he talking about? Boy, these people got some damn nerve, don't they? Good grief. He added, music is embedded in the form and function of African society from day one because it is also tied to the metronome of our hearts. Metronome, for those of you who are not versed in music terminology, a metronome is a device that keeps time. I guess next they're going to be saying the 2 and 4 came from Africa too, huh? Boy, y'all over there. Tell me where you can sell that in America. Tell me where you can sell that outside of your own culture. And then you go over to Ethiopia, boy, they got that tether popping music. I mean, come on, man. No, there's no comparison here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's no comparison whatsoever. Okay. Oh, all right. Got it. Oh, Lord. Tracing hip hop steps back to Africa. 5 years before the party of Sedgwick Avenue, a group called the Last Poets provided the first known glimpse of Africa's influence on Western hip hop culture during the American Civil Rights Movement. The American. Oh, man, say that you can't stand black folks, black Americans that identify as being a black American. Foundational black American. She can't even say that this was black folks for civil rights. She's talking during the American Civil Rights Movement. I'm picking up a great disdain here, and she's supposed to be some kind of Pan-African, but nah. This, if she's a Pan-Africanist, then she's a plant. Yeah, she most definitely a plant if that's the case. Let's see. The group of activists, poets, and musicians often created among hip-hop architects gathered in what's known what is now Harlem's Mount Morris Park on May 1968, what would have been the 43rd birthday of assassinated civil rights leader Malcolm X, and recited their first poems in public. By 1970, they released the self-entitled album of the recited poetry, amplifying black power to the beat of the conga drum. So there's your only connection right there. The beat of the conga drum, which was still played by foundational black Americans. Oh, boy, they really trying hard here, ain't they? That's the first time you've seen black, though. When you actually had to mention what they were doing. They weren't fighting for African power. They were fighting for black power. They were having songs about black power. And the revolution was black. The group's vocal style also included aspects of call and response and rhythmic chanting based in African culture. No, it wasn't based in African culture. Why would you say that? Because they aren't African, nor have they been exposed to African culture like that back then. What are you talking about? These are poor poets from the ghetto. What they know about Africa? See, again, I got to wonder, how young is this woman? Or is she a tether? Because this woman is either just coming here to flat out lie, or she's too young to know better. I can't really tell which this is, but this type of lying is ridiculous. I mean, good grief. And they keep making it, and she just keeps going making this weird reference to Africa. It's like it's not there. And you know what else it does? One of those last poets is Gil Scott Heron, and she's, again, out of touch because she's talking about, this is how it's so, it's mechanical. Because she doesn't even point out that Gil Scott Heron was one of those voices. And if she really understood the movement, that she made sure to reference Malcolm X. That's a easy go-to. But if you are really down with what you're talking about, you most definitely would have mentioned the fact that Gil Scott Heron was one of the standout people there, and he's those people that you're talking about on those records. Gil Scott Heron's from Detroit. Well, maybe shall I say Flint, Michigan? I don't know. A lot of these people, had drug issues as well. And as far as I know, I don't think you guys had an over amount of heroin flowing over in those parts. So I'm not sure how you think all of this stuff got so inspired. Let me just be even more clear. If you talk to Uncle Yoki, George Clinton, they weren't inspired by Africa. They were inspired by cocaine and acid and their own inner funk. Had nothing to do with no Africa. Man, we took this and we were studying the Greek. No, our music is not made like that. We make music right now because we're feeling it right now. That's how great we are. And so again, I have to go back to, start looking for those difference and those little nuanced things that show you a disconnect to things that we all are used to. And right now, this is showing me a great disconnect. Seeing a real big disconnect with her. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we could talk about in this chat that we all could understand. I could say a few things and you know what I mean. You probably got the same relative experience. This woman here is talking like she'd be the one in the room like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen anything like that before. I don't understand what's going on. What's wrong? You know what I'm saying? And Derek Dawson, thank you for the CashApp donation. I appreciate that. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on you and yours, as well as Sister Star. I see your CashApp. I appreciate you, sister. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on you and yours, as always. As always. And thank you for being here on this Friday evening, as well as Derek Dawson. I appreciate it. So let's, we almost threw this article. Well, actually, I don't know how close this is to be done. Okay. Even come on. Even the name, The Last Post, was inspired by words from the continent, with the poem called Towards a Walk in the Sun by revolutionary South African poet Korapites. I ain't gonna try that last name. In the poem, Kogo depicts a time when poetry would have would have to be set aside in the face of the revolution. Still not really seeing a connection. You're saying there's a connection, but you're not pointing, because no one has ever said that they were inspired by where is this coming from? This is not in Black music history at all. I mean, this is like a bad tabloid. What is she talking about? The group's body of work has since been sampled or referenced by the likes of Common, Too Short, NWA, A Tribe Called Quest, and the Notorious B.I.G. Founding Last Poet member Abadium Oyewele actually filed a copyright infringement lawsuit against the artist's estate, which was dismissed in 2018 and deemed fair use. The spoken word, if you notice, she still keeps harping on the last poets, but she mentions this African. No mention of Gil Scott-Heron. She is not one of us, family. I have to say, this woman ain't one of us. And if you go to her page, it becomes a little more evident by the very first thing she has pinned on her page. That, oh, you represent Africa. So this is the hustle. Got it. So you're over there at CNN to start swaying some. So she's a propaganda plant for the African agenda. Not Pan-African. That's just a hustle. Pan-African's the hustle and the con. But what she keeps doing is trying to get it focused back on Africa. There's a purpose to that. The spoken word element dating back centuries to the griots and evolving to include musicians, poets, and rappers has played a crucial role in preserving oral history and cultural richness. Ma'am, again, I have to say, there was something that was going on in this country that literally cut off these people from any recollection to which they came. I explained, if your families were separated, broken apart, children separated from their mothers, there's nobody of that generation going back to. There's no relation. You have you're on a plantation now with a bunch of strangers. I don't see how that changes. You're literally on a plantation with a bunch of strangers, and somehow now we're tapping into our African roots. And see, this comes from this is inspired by this poem here from Africa way back. How? From a bunch of illiterate slaves it was forbid for them to read. Like I'm saying, this woman this tether business is crazy. It is insane. You come over here, get your teeth fixed, get your nose worked on, and try to blend on in, sweetheart. But yeah, we starting to see you for what you is. I mean, or either you just one of those homegrown, self-hating Negroes, and they're could be there and trying to hide by under Africa's shadow. Oh Lord, cultural richness. Yeah, I mean that's just such a big lie. Asika agrees with that, or I'm sorry, Asika agrees that without the African blueprint, aspects of rap and hip hop culture would cease to exist. So why does Burner Boy sound like American music? Why isn't music from Africa setting and establishing a trend? I mean, really the biggest trend coming out of Africa that I can see right now It's those little dusty boys that be dancing. They got all the videos. The little African boys that be dancing. Be out there all dusty and stuff in front of a little shack. Then they do their little dance, and I guess they got a good following. Then they invest in some wash rags. But again, this is not just rewriting history. This is something else. This is totally something else. This is gross misrepresentation of actual true history. And so again, without an African blueprint, aspects of rap and hip hop culture would cease to exist. So he's trying to imply. Well, he's not implying. He's saying that the foundation of hip hop is Africa and African culture and music, which is so extremely far from the truth. It ain't funny. Oh boy. The music that the Black Americans have generated is music coming from their original sources as Africans. You get your ass out of here, man. What the hell is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? You ain't heard none of us say that. Don't we have to be exposed to something like that? See, they're talking to as if we're exposed to their culture. And more or less that we would, number one, even be taking anything from their culture. We have our own. Contrary to your own belief. But no. And man, come on now. Anyway. It's insane, man. Oh Lord. I'm just saying this is absolutely insane. Let's see. How the Black music is generated music source Africa, which they have now reinterpreted because of the environment they are in, said Ashika. All Black music, including hip hop, comes from us. No. And now all of a sudden, there it is. There it is. But you're not Black. You're African. You're not Black. You're Cameroonian. Right? But now all Black music, you know what I'm saying? Including hip hop, comes from us. Oh, gospel too, huh? Well, okay. This song that set hip hop around the world didn't originate in Africa. That's funny. The records were still being made and sold. I don't know why you guys weren't doing that. Why wasn't this? See, here it is. It's originated, but you guys aren't off the face of the earth. So why don't you have any hip hop records at the same time as us? Since we're getting something from you. The global notoriety of hip hop began with the Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight in 1979. Everybody heard that record called Asika. Yeah, of course we know. At the time, rap was referred to as electro funk, and Rapper Delight was the first to be played on the radio. No, electro funk is, I don't know about rap being, no, rap was not referred to as electro funk. There was electric music because it was electro funk. Electro funk is electro funk. That's not rap. There is a difference. Good grief. Well, these people don't know nothing, do they? And just they making up whole things on our culture. Good grief. Learn the music, man. We are really consumed by American hip hop rap music, said AO. Oh, is that it? Are we a little jealous? We are really consumed by American hip hop rap music, said AO. founder of Hip Hop World Magazine and executive producer of the Headies Award, which celebrate Nigerian music. We live the culture, not by location, but by association. What? Huh? What? I don't even understand that, but okay. Asika agrees. This sparked a cultural shift on the African continent, leading fans to embrace the 5 elements of hip hop: emceeing, DJ, breaking, graffiti, and beatboxing. Beatboxing? Oh, yeah, I guess you guys are just now getting to the early 1980s fashion. Those 5 things that hip hop's, those 5 things that's hip hop. That's how the culture came alive, he said. Well, then that means that it was inspired by Black Americans. Oh, well, they just reinterpreted it and brought it back to us. And then we heard it and it was like, damn, this is brand new music. Yeah, we got to get on this new wave, man. I mean, shoot. But somehow I thought you just said it was inspired by you. But it was brand new to you, and then it changed something over there. Why, if you're on the continent, why don't you have the ability to influence something the way we do? Pioneers of African hip hop. Oh boy. Like in America, the DJ was the first to put rap on the map in Africa. Ron Ekondeo seems to have had the first record that was maybe recognized beyond Africa, said Asika, of the continent's earliest hip hop offerings. Okay, so that's a record. DJ Ronnie's The Way I Feel, 1981. Well, I mean, shoot, you guys always had knockoff artists over there. What's that other dude? With the Rick James, or with the Mary Jane girls braids wig. Yeah, I think he was trying to go for the Rick James look, but he ended up looking more like the Mary Jane girls. Something Me Tonight, Dream Me Tonight, or Dream Me Up Tonight. Some I cannot remember that dude's name right now, but that dude sucks. Anyway, Nigerian disc jockey DJ Ronnie released The Way I Feel in 1981, considered Nigeria's first rap album. It predates the mid-1980s to mid-1990s when the genre really began to dominate mainstream music. I think you missed again. Mid-1980s, try more like early 1980s. I mean, when you're talking a mainstream art form that's been around for a minute, you don't start getting on like MTV by the mid-80s without already having made waves. So maybe that's just how they see it over there in their country, because they've never created a genre. So, yeah, DJ Ronnie Pioneer, yeah, because I mean, it's Nigeria's first rap album that predates mid-80s, and nobody heard it. Nobody over here heard it. And he's still inspired by what was coming out of here. I don't even understand the point of putting that in there. DJ Ronnie's pioneering album led the way for the powerhouse Nigerian duo, whatever, and Pretty Okafor, better known as Junior and Pretty. Never heard of them. And they're not an influence on our music at all. They were actually rapping. They were preaching. They were telling stories with their rap. Junior and Pretty were among the first Nigerians to commercially release rap music. Again, isn't this story supposed to be how the roots of hip hop is in Africa? All they're telling us about inspired Africans that were inspired by foundational Black Americans. I haven't seen an African form. They've made a bunch of loose references to African forms of music, to American forms of music. Now, when you're getting to the names, all of their dates are after our music. I mean, so there's nothing coming from. Boy, you are so late in the game. This doesn't even make sense. Okay, talking about their song. Who cares? At the time when most artists were copying American hip hop culture, just like you guys, because why were you guys making rap albums? You weren't making rap albums out of thin air. You were making, and like Burna Boy now. So Burna Boy is still doing the same thing with an African twist. Stop it. Lord, at the time of copying American hip hop culture, the duo stood out, bringing local dialects with English, which was considered unique at the time. That's a whole nother thing. Their music is the foundation of everything everybody has done since then. What? I guess in Nigeria. See, they start getting so wild with it. Hip hop started becoming dominant and take over, or started becoming dominant and take over, I guess took over. And then the transition is that when we fully domesticated hip hop, it became Afro beats. No, Afro beats is Afro beats. Hip hop is not Afro beats when we domesticated it. What the hell are you talking about? So no, so when you had to take an American art form and make it work for you, then it became Afro beats. So once again, your roots are in America, if that's what you're saying. Meanwhile, the 1980s in South Africa brought Sinyaka Kenana, known professionally as Sinyaka, the late rapper, or just as Sinyaka, the late rapper who is recognized as one of the country's earliest hip-hop acts, released his debut album called Fukwaza Dance in 1987 with hit singles including Go Away. The rapper experimented with fusing music genres like house and pop music, splicing in his own humorous and sometimes controversial lyrics. Family, what does this have to do with hip-hop? And she talking about how our music this is just a love letter to Africa. It has nothing to do with our music. The birthplace of protest movement. Oh boy. Against the backdrop of Nigerian and South Africa's hip hop evolution, the Senegalese rap scene was bubbling up. By the late 80s. Hip hop influence reached the French-speaking country in West Africa. Senegal is a huge hip hop hub. Okay. While Eric B. and Rakim were changing rap flows in America with their album Paid in Full, Senegal had a dynamic duo of their own developing with Positive Black Soul. Island Records, Positive Black Soul, Just Say Paz, 1996. Ma'am, maybe your timeline's a little bit janky, but Paid in Full came out in 1986. Depending on which record you got, might be 1987. But truth be told, I heard Check Out My Melody in 1985. So this is shameful. And so you're a whole decade late to say at this, but because they're saying at the same time, while Eric B, that's a whole decade before this whack record that you're talking about that nobody over here heard came out. Oh, Lord. The Dakar-based duo featuring DJ Awadi and Dougie T. He's named Dougie T. Oh, come on, man. You like Dougie Fresh? Oh, Lord. became the country's first well-known hip-hop group. The group was founded in 1989 and flowed in English, French, and Wolof, mirroring American artists like Public Enemy. The duo was pro-black in their lyrics and focused on African pride. Well, there's actually something pretty interesting. The group was pro-black, so they patterned themselves after Americans. Again, making the reference that it is not them inspiring us, but it is absolutely us inspiring them. They like to keep that lie going, don't they? Outside of being great rappers and everything, they were also involved in the community. Okay. By the mid-1990s, conscious rap was seeing a quick uptick in popularity worldwide. Beyond the good times and party vibes were lyrics that raised awareness of community and social turmoil. Mid-90s? No. By the mid-90s, there was a whole... mid-90s, we were moving into player. I'm a player in... oh, my goodness. Where is this woman from? Family. What did hip-hop look like in 1996? I think Keefe D could probably best say it best how that scene looked back then. This woman's timelines are so off. Mid-90s was the death of Tupac Shakur and Biggie. There's no African influence anywhere around it. And then shortly after that, Big L. I don't see it. This is crazy. How did CNN put this out? This is amazing. In let's see. Oh boy. Oh man. Oh, this is getting good. In 1993, the Tanzanian group Kwanzaa Unit Kwanzaa was another early adopter of the trend. Kwanzaa Unit was a hip-hop collective similar to Wu-Tang Clan, which formed in the U.S. The year before. No, they were not formed. They've been a group since the early 90s. The group operated as a community, bringing together artists and the fans to establish their own culture and way of life, like Public Enemy did for the U.S. The group's lyrics addressed racism, classism, police brutality, and other social issues faced by people in Tanzania, but the delivery was in Swahili. Wow. And that Osmic Minnow remembered from his time as a young child in the apartheid South Africa, or as a young child in apartheid South Africa, was emerging, particularly in Cape Town, with deep roots in hip-hop protest music. Again, that comes and spawns from us. But here's the thing that they're missing. We already had protest music without hip-hop. That comes from our culture. So our culture just, again, got interpreted through our music. It is not that they keep trying to separate Black culture from Black music, and they're hand in hand. They are absolutely married. They Siamese twins. They cannot be separated. They conjoined. The long-term inequities faced by many Black people, their inspired artists to use music as a way of speaking out against hardship in South Africa. Oh, Lord. I'm looking for a tie here. I'm trying to see where the tie... Okay. We got there. Swagger Like Us. Let's go down here. On the shoulders of these giants, African artists began to see more widespread commercial success at the turn of the century in Nigeria. The name that comes up most is Mode 9. Okay. It was real hip hop, the artist told CNN of the music era. Born in England as Banatunde Osagun Adewale, Mode 9, good grief, is a DJ turned rap star who started out as a presenter for Rhythm 84.7 FM in Abuja, Nigeria. He made his musical debut in 2004 with his album Malcolm 9. Wow. Wow. Lord, we almost do this. The 9-time award winner, including seven for his lyricist on the role, is known for his wordplay. But even the trendsetter has U.S. hip hop influences of his own. When I listened to American rapper Big Daddy Kane, everything changed. See, this is the thing. You literally tried to say that everything we do over here in America is influenced by our African culture and this and that, which we have no tie to, no recollection of, because we are not from Africa. But every time we start talking about any type of connection, it ends up them being inspired by us. So they're trying to take this weird end around bout way of taking some kind of pat on the back or accolade, shall I say, for them. And I think that's about all I'll read. I don't think I need to read one more. Let me see if there's anywhere that they make a reference. That's what I wanted to see. Okay. This part here we go. Rap roots grounded in Africa. While both Asika and Mano agree rap music has undoubtedly influenced various global music scenes for the last half century, including across Africa, its origins lie in African cultural expressions reciprocating the influence. Absolutely not. Because now you go away from where it actually flourished and where it really began. So you keep trying to now snub foundational Black American creators. That's what's happening right here in that little sentence there, or the paragraph. I don't want to look like Africans are trying to appropriate something that our cousins created. I think in Africa, hip hop is maybe 1,000 years old. So with us, music is deeper than just some inferior thing. Well, here, let me say this though. That's not hip hop because you guys didn't call it that. You're calling it hip hop and you're participating in a genre you did not create. And it wasn't in Africa until we put it there. I don't understand how it keeps, this is like this. If it was, then it would be popping already. But it's not. And you have to sound like America. So why is the African influence that's supposed to be there not going anywhere? That makes no sense. With the skyrocketing global popularity of Afrobeats, African acts have recently been dominating the music landscape. No, they have not. But more needs to be done to document the history of hip-hop and its evolution on the continent. Well, you guys could do that. That's why Mano is so passionate about teaching and preserving Africa's hip-hop history. Yeah, but one thing you need to stop doing about that history is stop lying on American creation. You did not create American music. You were inspired by American music. To say that, well, it originally came from Africa, so that's like just, kind of being the same, No, it is not. It really is not. And here's a little bit about this woman who wrote this article. Lauren Lee is a journalist and producer with CNN International Productions. She joined CNN in 2011. Lee studied broadcast journalism and Pan-African studies at Kent State University. While attending KSU, she was production assistant on the History Channel documentary This Week in History. Kent State anti-war protests turned into battlefield. Oh, okay. She received a certification in social media from Pointers News University and video production from Specs Howard School of Media Arts. Lee spent 3 years at one of Detroit's top stations, WXYZ TV, splitting time between writing for the Emmy-winning noon newscast and working as an associate producer and field producer for events such as the Detroit Grand Prix, while WXYZ Lee connected with Florine Mark, the largest franchisee of Weight Watchers International at the time. She was tapped in to handle Mark and the brand's public relations and produce her sponsor series, Ask Florine. This is very interesting. They notice how there's not really much talk about like where she's from. Oh, there we go. Lauren hails from Detroit, Michigan, but now resides in Atlanta. Now, there's another huge problem. You're talking about the last poets, but only mention this African dude. You're from Detroit, but didn't mention Gil Scott-Heron. I hope somebody see and smells the Joel off with me, because we need to ask Miss Lauren.
Where's your family from?
Because this ain't sounding right, ma'am. And I think we see right there. Yeah, see. Currently, Lauren is responsible for producing cross-platform content for CNN International, including writing digital features, crafting bite-sized social videos, and producing 30-minute features, a 30-minute feature shows like African Voices Change Makers. So she's in place to push the African agenda and also to lie on us and lie on our history and lie on our culture and write about it. So she's in a propaganda pushing position. That is no good. That is no good. I mean, that's horrible. Now, with that being said, where's that other clip? I want to play this last little clip of another well-known culture vulture, China Mac. And he ran into somebody else who is pushing back on all of this. We're not responsible for our own creation talk. And so he let China Mac have it, and I'm glad he did, because that was really, really good to see. And, shout out to you, brother. So as this clip is loading, there we go. Here we go. And he checks China Mac and lets people know we are the creators of hip hop. Now, one thing I will say, Brother China Mac is not your brother, but the rest was good.
It didn't start with anybody but us, and everybody else participated in that culture because hip hop is black culture. When we first got on the microphone, and spit lyrics on the microphone, what was we talking about? We was talking about the injustice. No, you hold up, man. Let me get it out, because this is all facts. This is not what you want the definition to be. You can't create my definition. So when we got on the mic and spoke and spit rhymes, we talked about black culture. We talked about being oppressed, slavery, okay? And killed by police, injustices, systematic racism. We wasn't talking about any. This is how hip hop spread it, brother. Hip hop was created out of poverty. It was created out of poverty. Wait a minute, I'm listen, and it spread it again around the world. You understand? Okay. This is no. I conclude by saying it's black culture, brother. Period. Hip hop and black culture is one and the same. No. Hip hop is black culture, nigga. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? You see a Chinese man, right? You see a Chinese man, but when you speak, no. You need to listen. When you speak, the way you dress, your mannerisms and everything, that's a fucking black man coming out of you, bro. Nothing about you is Chinese but the way you look, nigga. That's black culture. Fuck is you talking about?
What's the definition?
What are you talking about?
What is the definition?
Ain't nothing about you Chinese but the way you look, nigga. Everything about you is me.
Of culture.
Everything about you is me, bro.
What?
And you ain't taking accountability. What I'm just saying is we have respect for everybody else's culture and know our rightful place and give respect. We let y'all niggas in and give y'all comfortability. Y'all motherfuckers take advantage. And now you claiming it. Like, be a part of it. But know your place.
Bro, what's the definition?
Get the fuck out of here.
What's the definition?
Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Let it fall. And let us ride. Can you dig it? Straight up. Straight up. Hands off our culture and hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
All right. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get out of here. But let's be clear. We have all types of areas out here, different groups, people trying to come against us and our agenda. And if they can't get against us and our agenda, they are trying to latch themselves on and tether themselves in for their own comfort so they can be cowardly and sit up there and basically lay in wait and be opportunists and moochers off of us doing the legwork. And we simply can't have that. And there's some people who might cape for them. You're wrong, but, well, man, hey, hip hop does have origins everywhere.
Buck dancing, shuffling, scratching, bootlicking, bamboozling, Uncle Tom Negro.
And for those of you who are still stuck on the Pan-African trip,
and I'm telling you, as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all of them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep for good. And I'm
man. So, and if there might be some of y'all, there might be some of those that y'all might want to watch out for. Just leave it at that. But with these white supremacists, you know, those who are upset about Hannah Payne taking it on the chin, and the prospects that Daniel Penny might have to take a harsh turn as well. Just remember, George Zimmerman is still free. The POS that he is. Zimmerman, fat, crying, and broke, but whatever. Too bad, dude. Too bad for Killer Kyle. And so for you, dirty, low-down, anti-black white supremacists, I can say, you ain't got nothing coming from us but the consistent energy of justice. So if you have a problem with that, and if you boot licking shine out there that always wants to say it is not about color, well, I need both of y'all to get together and lock hands like they do in the prayer circle. And from me, beatzillapdx official, beatzillapdx official show, those of you in the chat, the grassroots and the new black media, all of these people out here, I think it's safe to say that we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for tuning in. I appreciate everybody who was here this evening, tuning in and the super chats and the cash apps. I appreciate all of it. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on all of you. So y'all have a good, safe weekend. Always keep your 3 smooth stones at the ready and keep that slingshot nearby. Stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a good old safe weekend.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yes. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.
Thank you.